Coachella Valley, man. Everybody back at home. Everybody get ready, man. When I come back, we're going to celebrate. Thank you.
All right, okay, over here, please.
Come on, Tim.
I mean, you're ready?
What's up, bro? You ready for
Dante's boxing.
My man.
I got this on video, Tim. I'm putting it up.
Word, man.
I wish I would have got when he did it the last time. He did. Now, Bob, Manny Pacquiao recently said he has no preference on his next opponent, but clearly Crawford is going to ask for a lot less money. Does that give him more of a chance of getting that big fight with Pacquiao?
That depends. And Manny saying he has no preference on his next opponent, I don't think that's correct. Manny said to me that he wants to fight the best available guy. That's why he's looking at tape. And if he thinks Crawford is the best guy, the best challenge, that's who he would want to fight in his next fight.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So if you guys watched the video that I just uploaded earlier today in the morning or whatever, Bob Arum was really puzzled trying to figure out why Manny Pacquiao was stalling on announcing his next opponent for April. I told you guys that it's very possible there could be two reasons why he's stalling. Either one, he's dealing with the backlash of fans saying they don't want to see a third Tim Bradley fight, or Manny Pacquiao is possibly trying to negotiate a rematch with Floyd Mayweather for Floyd Mayweather's 50th fight. Now I enter another possibility, because it was just reported today by, I guess MB.com, that Michael Koncz did an interview with them. And Michael Koncz said they're also looking at Adrien "the Problem" Broner. Now, it definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense if it's true or not. I really don't know, but this is what's been reported. And I'm telling you right now, that fight does make more sense than a Manny Pacquiao versus a Tim Bradley fight. It does. I mean, Adrien Broner is looked at as Floyd Mayweather's little brother. He's already a big name. We know that pay-per-view would do big numbers. Pacquiao versus Adrien Broner, I bet Manny Pacquiao would do the best numbers he's ever done, of course, outside of the Mayweather fight. I mean, I can almost guarantee that. That is a big fight. And I tell you early, I would pick Manny Pacquiao to win that fight. And probably win it fairly easy. Well, maybe I shouldn't say easy, but let's just say I believe Pacquiao, he wins that fight. Because Adrien Broner doesn't really do good with fighters that are very active, high volume, aggressive type fighters. But at the same time, when I think about it, Adrien Broner, he does well against southpaws. I mean, you know, his best win today was against an Antonio DeMarco who was on top of his game at the time. You can't compare DeMarco to the DeMarco that's now getting beat up by the Figueroas and other fighters, right? There was a time when DeMarco was on top of his game, and Adrien Broner, he beat the best DeMarco, okay? And he just beat, you know, the southpaw Oliver Diaz as well. Of course, these guys are nowhere near on Manny Pacquiao's level, which is why I'm still picking Pacquiao to win the fight. But still, that would be a very good fight. Yet and still, a lot of people believe that Manny Pacquiao is going to end up picking Tim Bradley, regardless of all this stuff we're hearing about. But I can tell you guys right now, whenever you have a fighter's promoter who's scratching his head and saying, what the hell is going on with my fighter? Why is he taking so long to announce his next fight? I'm going to tell you, that's a big indication that some big talks are going on behind the scenes. Okay? That's a very good indication of that. I truly believe that Manny Pacquiao and Team Pacquiao, they're trying to really make some big moves. But at the same time, they're trying to make big moves that will secure Manny Pacquiao a victory. Don't believe what you guys heard at the beginning of this video where Bob Arum was saying that Manny Pacquiao wants to fight the best. He doesn't want to fight the best. Manny Pacquiao wants to fight the best name that's going to help him produce the biggest payday. Okay, that's what he wants to do. Now, when it comes to the Tim Bradley situation, I talked extensively about that in a previous video. If Manny Pacquiao picks Tim Bradley, it will be because Manny Pacquiao believes that Tim Bradley is the safest bunker to hide in and protect him from the invasion of the allies. And in this case, that ally would be Crawford, or the allies would be Team Crawford. That was a World War II reference if you guys didn't catch it. Oh yeah, and just remember this. That bunker that Hitler was hiding in, it wasn't as safe as he thought it was, because they end up closing in on his ass, and eventually he was forced to surrender by killing himself. So in other words, Tim Bradley may not be as safe as Manny Pacquiao thinks he is. That's the only way I see Manny Pacquiao choosing Tim Bradley. Now, once again, I want people to understand this is not to suggest that Tim Bradley has no chance of winning a fight. Tim Bradley has a damn good chance of pulling off the upset and winning. Not just because he's with Teddy Atlas. I mean, that helps. But once again, if you guys look at both fights, what you'll notice is Tim Bradley, he did very well in the first fight. Okay? He did so well, the judges actually gave him the fight. In the rematch, Tim Bradley was pretty much up, winning the fight all the way up until around the 6th round, and that's when he had the injury, and all of a sudden he started just laying on the ropes. But when Tim Bradley was fighting in the center of the ring, he was once again outboxing Manny Pacquiao. And to Manny Pacquiao's credit, Manny Pacquiao was doing better in the rematch, and Tim Bradley was still outboxing him. Okay? So that means Tim Bradley definitely has a chance in the third fight. If Manny Pacquiao really wants to pick Tim Bradley and no one else, that would suggest that Manny Pacquiao is a little bit desperate. And if Manny Pacquiao is desperate to fight Tim Bradley, I would advise Tim Bradley, or I would encourage Tim Bradley to milk the shit out of Manny Pacquiao. Because if Manny Pacquiao once again is looking at Tim Bradley as a safe haven, that means Manny Pacquiao, he needs Tim Bradley more than Tim Bradley needs him. Remember, guys, after Tim Bradley beat Brandon Rios, after he beat Rios, notice Tim Bradley wasn't calling out Manny Pacquiao. He didn't even care. So if he's not really calling out Manny Pacquiao and Pacquiao is pursuing a third Bradley fight, this is an opportunity for Tim Bradley to basically say, okay, you want to fight me that bad, Manny Pacquiao? Well, I want 50-50. There you have it. I won't settle for anything less than 60-40. This is what Tim Bradley should do. Because once again, if Manny Pacquiao is really fooling everyone and making us think that he wants Broner, he wants Crawford, he wants Khan, but really deep down, he's looking at Tim Bradley as the safest opponent, Tim Bradley needs to take advantage of that situation. Force Manny Pacquiao to pay your ass, or at least move on and fight a tougher opponent. That's what Tim Bradley needs to do. Why do you think when you go to amusement parks, they charge your ass so much for the food and everything else? They do that because you're desperate. You really have nowhere else to go eat. You really have nowhere else to go get something to drink. You have to pay for something inside of that amusement park. So what do? They tax the shit out of your ass, right? That's what Tim Bradley needs to do. Right now, Tim Bradley, he might be that amusement park that Manny Pacquiao is running around in right now. But you know what? I actually hope that I'm wrong, though. I hope that I'm dead wrong. I really hope that we do see Manny Pacquiao in the ring with a new face. I would love to see Pacquiao versus Broner, Pacquiao versus Koncz, and number one, Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford. When you guys hear some of these fans say, oh, you know, Crawford is not a big enough name, that's some bullshit. Those are code words. All these fans are basically saying is, man, I would hate to see my boy Manny Pacquiao go out with an ass whooping. That's what they're really saying. But they can't come out and say that because they're not people like me that base what they talk about on the whole truth, right? So they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to try to just give you some code words. I don't need to give you no code words. I'm going to give you the whole truth. And I'm also going to tell you when I'm just giving you my opinion as well. This situation right here is up in the air. We really can't project what Manny Pacquiao is thinking about doing right now. All we can really say is what we want, right? You know, another thing too is I hear some fans say, Manny Pacquiao, he can fight whoever he wants. It doesn't matter, etc., etc. Floyd Mayweather fought Adrien Broner. They'll say something like that, right? Let me go ahead and break this down and educate you guys. Floyd Mayweather beat the fighter of the decade, okay? Floyd Mayweather beat the 8-division champion that a lot of writers and media had ranked as top 2, top 3, the best fighter in the world at the time that he went up against Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, winning the biggest fight of his career and the most important fight of his career. Manny Pacquiao, on the other hand, he lost the most important fight of his career. He lost the fight of the century. When you win the fight of the century, your next fight is just a victory lap. That's all that is, right? If Manny Pacquiao would have beat Floyd Mayweather, who would have really cared who he would have fought next? You beat the best fighter of our era. Who cares who he fights next? There's no one he can fight that's going to top that. So for you to make the comparison, it's ridiculous. When you fans say Manny Pacquiao can fight whoever he wants, you're right. He can fight whoever he wants. And at the end of the day, it's up to Manny Pacquiao to decide how he wants to be remembered. Do you just want to be remembered as the fighter that lost the biggest fight of our generation and you finished second? Or do you want to be remembered as a guy that lost that fight but came back and beat some young, hungry lion that was supposed to be the next big star? Just like Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, he lost to all the big names, really. I mean, outside, with the exception of the first win he had against Sugar Ray Leonard, which was close enough that could have went either way. Roberto Duran, he got knocked out by Hearns. He lost to Wilfredo Benitez. He lost to Marvin Hagler. He lost to Sugar Ray Leonard in the best of 3, right? The last 2 times they fought, he lost. But you know what Roberto Duran did to make up for those defeats? He went after some other new, young, hungry lions. he knocked out the undefeated, I believe he was undefeated, Davey Moore. Then he beat the hell out of Iran Barkley. So that made up for some of the greats that Roberto Duran couldn't beat. So Manny Pacquiao, if he wants, yeah, you're right, he can fight whoever he wants. No pressure. It's all up to Manny Pacquiao when it comes to how he wants to be remembered. Think about that, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Manny Pacquiao. I don't. You know, a lot of times when fighters lose the most important fight of their career, they often extend their career and try to avenge that loss for years and years and years, a la Roy Jones Jr. The reason why Roy Jones Jr. continues to fight is because he doesn't want to be remembered as the guy that got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. He wants to make up for that. And this is what I believe Manny Pacquiao is going to do at the end of the day. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.